Twitter suspends Babylon Bee for calling Admiral Levine a man. The Babylon Bee, the right-wing satire website that makes The Onion look like Pulitzer Prize-winning material, has been suspended from Twitter. Babylon Bee editor-in-chief Kyle Mann wrote about the suspension, saying, quote, "The satirical article that offended the Twitter overlords, the Babylon Bee's Man of the Year is Levine," end quote. For the simple offense of labeling biological man a man through a satirical headline, we have lost access to all 1.3 million of our followers on Twitter. Official, end quote. Maybe if they tried actual humor instead of, personal attacks, then veiled in satire, they could also be as popular as The Onion, who has over 11.7 million followers on Twitter.
Free speech or this? Who wins?
Well, I'm gonna give the unpopular opinion. I think it is tasteless. I think it is offensive. I think it is everything that I'm sure the rest of us think that it is. But I also think they have the right to say it.
I think there's a distinct difference between free speech and hate speech. Like, the perpetual use of hate speech can cause harm. And at the end of the day, that's what I think people don't fully understand when they're like, oh, free speech, I have the full right to say what I want to say. Yes, you do, but if it's at the cost of someone else and their livelihood, their life, them being harmed, maybe you should rethink what you're going to say.
So, Borny, can I ask you, and please, and you know the intent of my question, but in compare and contrast to what Ty just said, Twitter's response to the Bee and very hateful in terms of the way they satirically are making a joke, very hateful, of what they called Admiral Dr. Levine. If somebody did the exact same thing to you in using the N-word in a satirical article, do they have the right to say that, and does that become hate speech? Same standard that you just talked about.
So if it was instead of the Man of the Year and it was the N-word of the year, it's still hate speech. It's like, yes, end of the day, you have the right to say whatever comes out of your mouth, but at the same time, that's hate speech. Like, you are spewing hate, and that could cause harm to me. Like, you don't know you have your little 1.3 million followers, or like The Onion, 11 million. Like, those people could start coming after me. And that could also, if they're coming after me on social network and I'm reading it, that could harm my mental health. And if they come physically.
I also think Twitter is a private company, and they have a choice to be able to publish whatever they'd like to publish. And although they're not saying that free speech doesn't exist, just says that their platform does not support all speech. And I think that's their right also. So I support this.
The right of the companies.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT